Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode 102 of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe the Panther the Third. And now introducing my friend, my co-host, my partner, Graham, from the top of Metal Mountain all the way down to all 50 states and the globe and that random sunflower patch in the middle of upstate New York. It's the Happy Heel himself. Show your muscles for the Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside Crew? What's going on, internationally known? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Joe?
Not
What's
too
going on,
much.
Metal Mountain?
What's up, Metal Mountain? And how about that, Chris? How about that, geek? We are now up to 200 followers on Twitch TV.
Does that deserve a woo?
Woo and a cat. Yeah.
There you go. Woo. There you go. Woo.
You want to introduce the guest, or you want me to introduce the guest today?
You can introduce it.
Oh, introduce her? Okay. Globally, our ringside crew. Let's give a war. Dudes at ringside, welcome. Put your guns up for courageous Christina Marie.
Oh,
Geek, what happened?
We already know these guns are ready.
No.
Oh, I like that. I seen that. I was like, all right, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if our fans are not familiar with you, I don't know why they wouldn't be. Introduce yourself.
I am a courageous female athlete based out of Albany, New York. My hometown is Schenectady, New York. I say Albany because people aren't familiar with hometowns as well as, different states and stuff like that. I would hope you know. I am a elite power lifter and a pro wrestler of 7 years on the indies. I'm a badass chick that you don't want to get mad. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, the first match I saw that you did was against Steel, and I was like, "Whoa, she destroyed her."
Talking about Dina?
Yeah, you destroyed her in that match.
Yeah, man, that had to be what? It had to be before COVID. It was a year before COVID. It was during the time that I lost my PPW Women's Championship to Mercedes Martinez.
Was that as before she got signed, right?
That was before she got signed. Yes.
Right.
Okay. Well, I was watching it before we did a podcast, and my whole time my face was like this. He's like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, "I'm just watching Dina Steele get mowed down by this truck called Christina Marie." She just like. So who trained you?
What? Who trained me?
Yeah.
Shockwave the Robot trained me out of XWA that was based in Albany, New York. And actually, they just found another venue. So they were closed for a little bit. That was in 2016. About March, I started training with them. And they closed about maybe like 2018 to 2020. But they reopened back up.
What was your first match like in front of a crowd?
Holy shit. Holy shit. It was a lot of emotion, a lot of feeling, I couldn't, you know what I mean? You're excited, you're nervous. And coming from somebody like me that couldn't even read a paragraph in front of a classroom and couldn't stand in front of a crowd or classroom or even make eye contact with people throughout my middle school growing up and stuff. And then being able to do that, it was a different feeling. So, and then I had to push myself to be able to do it. So it was very nerve wracking, but it was a straight adrenaline rush. It was amazing. I got my ass kicked by Toxis. She was managed by Helen. This was held at New England Championship Wrestling, July 9th, 2017, if I'm correct. And that's actually really great if I know that on the dot. So that's really proud of me. But I got my ass kicked. I wasn't even supposed to take the match. I was still under a training contract that we weren't supposed to take any bookings. And I still went behind my trainer's back. And I wanted to have an experience of wrestling a female or in a female promotion because I trained with nothing but dudes. Not saying that it's anything wrong. I just wanted to be able to not overextend my athleticism and stiffness. I wanted to be able to see how females would work. So that's how my first match went. And actually, I got my ass kicked within the first 5 minutes. And I went back home 3.5 hours later. It was in Boston, Massachusetts. So
I was just in Boston this past week. I went to Salem for a little bit today, and then we went to New Hampshire to hang out with family.
how was it? I haven't been there yet, Salem.
Oh, you have to go to Salem. It's beautiful. The buildings are so old school. It's just like, I'm so mad. I was supposed to get a real yummy official fish and chips, and my mom's like, "Oh, what do you want to have? Just a little snack." My dad's like, "Oh, I want a hot dog." And I'm like, I guess I'm not getting my yummy fish and chips. Head down in sadness. Hulk with the beam with the Hulk with the thumb up, walking and trying to get a ride. That was me. I'm not gonna get real fish and chips.
Another creepy town you have to check out is Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah. Very old town, but very nice over there.
You know, I've been wanting to do Halloween different things and go like explore, but every time something, I'm always either working or wrestling in the last like couple years. So then, you know, since I'm able to do all these things, I should make time to do that.
But my advice to you, don't go to Salem in October. It's like going to New York City in the summertime. It is packed. If you hate crowds, you'll be like this. Get the bag. Like Sheldon blowing into the bag on a big bag.
What do you do with it? Like, it's too many people, right?
Yes. You're like, he sells sweatshirts for $20. You can't go wrong with that.
I mean, we do. For wrestlers, we sell sweatshirts for 20, if not 25, if it's a certain size.
I'm bad. I'm like, I go to places and I'm just like $20, and I'm like, I'm on vacation. I got the money.
I know, it's like this is the only time I'm gonna be here right now, and do I really want it? And you're like, no.
Only thing I really bought, I'm horrible. I bought a crow that I love crows. Absolutely obsessed with crows.
So you're a Sting fan. I mean,
I love Sting. I love. Yeah. I'm a fan of cruiserweights. I love anything that's tough. I like stickers too. I'm a sticker fanatic. So there's the one sticker I bought in Salem. Didn't say Massachusetts because
it's a crow.
Yes.
It looks like a crow, right? It's not a pigeon version of a crow, right?
Yeah, it looks like a pigeon. Yeah.
Maybe it made it with a pigeon and it made a pigeon crow.
Could have been. I had to buy it. I almost got yelled at by the owner of the store because I took a picture of something. The owner was like, "You're not supposed to take pictures in here, sir." I'm like,
they still do that? They still freak out about that stuff?
I think I went to New Jersey. I think it was in the mall. You know that mall in Atlantic City?
Is it the one that's in like near the casino? Like the showboat casino? Yes, I'm aware. Yes,
that mall in Atlantic City. I think I was with the mod, and we were in like a picture frame store. I took a picture of a picture. Oh, that looks pretty nice. And then the guy's like, "No pictures." Gave me the look like
in Wayne's World. Fine. And I felt so bad. I'm like, I gotta buy something now. I want to be that guy. It's a witch store. I'm gonna wake up sitting, my nose bleeding.
It's like frowned upon. You're like, no pictures.
I was like, what can I buy?
Give me phone.
I'm like, I even did it where I looked at the girl. I was like, see, delete. I had the iPhone. You click on the top and select the picture. I'm like, delete. See, make sure I didn't delete any of the.
Screenshot it before you actually delete the actual photo, but you have a scrreenshot of it. So then it's in a different folder.
But for me, I was
scared. Give us the bad ideas right now.
Yeah, I'll remember that.
And it's like you didn't hear this from me.
But the thing is, I was afraid I was gonna delete because I make all the fun promotional stuff for the podcast, the posters and the little fun stuff. I didn't want to end up accidentally deleting a picture of Christina or you or anybody that's coming up after you. Then they'll be like, "Where's our picture, Joe?" Why'd you use the picture on my Instagram? We sent you pictures.
Geek, do you have a spare picture?
Geek?
find be like, oh, I deleted the chat. Or like,
That's me.
oops.
He can tell you that, Christina. Geek knows. I'm the king of, don't need this chat. Delete.
She said sucks because the artwork was amazing. She's talking about the guy that got mad at us for taking the picture.
The statue I took a picture of, Christina, was so cool. It was like a Native American with like dressed like a crow, and he was like doing like a dance. He had his arms out and his head down, and the crow's head was on his head.
Mm-hmm.
And he was flapping his arms with like these black pants on, and there was little crows around his feet. And I was just like, oh man. So,
I'm more of a cardinal person, if you ask me.
Cardinals are cool. Where I live in PA, there's a lot of Cardinals, Blue Jays, Hawks, Eagles, everything. I live in the woods. So pretty much.
Great. Look at this, Joe. Now you get me in trouble with the mod. She says I'm a bad influence.
He is. So, have you ever thought of wrestling out of the country, Christina?
Yes, actually, I was hoping right before COVID I was going to be able to get my passport, but I had a lot of things happen in the last year that postponed it, and then I postponed it even more knowing that COVID was the pandemic was going on. So actually, in the last like 2 weeks, actually, I'm getting like that. I just got blood work done, updated physical and stuff for like well needed, future things. And then I actually said that's the next thing I got to do is passport because I've had a lot of opportunities been asked or like suggested to me, but I'm unable to because I don't have a passport yet. So that's something that I'm slacking on against my benefits.
There's a promotion that we always connect ourselves to, Christina. They're called Coventry Pro Wrestling. They're in England. So definitely check them out.
Okay.
They're a good promotion. They have a really good women's division.
Mm-hmm.
Really good women's division in the promotion. And if I'm saying the name wrong, I'm sorry, guys. It's WAW in England. They're another good one.
Doesn't ring a bell.
And UK Wrestling, that's another good promotion that's in England. And Blackheart, that's another promotion in England.
Okay, trust me, that's my next bucket list between that and some other things, you know what I mean? So I'm excited. That's another thing. I just talked about that to my buddy Nick when I was at 2CW the other day in the locker room. I said that to him about me getting my passport and everything so I can cross over the border. It's well overdue.
Yeah. Well, you get any promotions in England or when you go over the border, send us your posters. We'll post them on the wall. And
okay, cool.
We'll
Thank
help
you.
you out.
Appreciate it.
We love doing that. Anything, any upcoming events that you're doing, the poster, ask the promotion. If they say sure, send them our way. We love helping wrestlers promote their upcoming events and stuff that's going on in their lives and their wrestling career.
Mm-hmm.
We're all for it. We love helping you guys. That's our way of helping without being in the ring. We're like the ones we're like in my head, we're the guys like the old New York guys handing out the flyers in Times Square. That's us, but without handing out flyers.
You guys,
yes.
This is spooky. Okay.
You can curse. We can curse here.
But no, I do because I remember my first couple wrestling shows, we're supposed to do that, and still to this day, I think that's weird because then I actually have to take my time to talk to them. That takes a lot of effort sometimes, you know what I mean? Because some people just get really deep in the conversation, and I always reflect off of energy. So usually if somebody's upset, I end up sucking people's bad energy in. I feel like one of those good energy people that give, and then I suck it in. So it's I would never want to be out in public. It's a long time ago anyway. So, but I give you guys credit. So, and I appreciate it though for promoting, any female male talent and stuff like that. It's well appreciated in the business.
We love just helping. Me and Geek have been fans of wrestling since college. Me and Geek met in college, and he got me into the independent scene, showing me Ring of Honor. And then I just was like, dude, this stuff's so cool. And then we started the podcast on a whim. We just were doing the show talking about Raws and SmackDowns, reviewing, and my friend of 13 years, Foxy, and Damian Dragon, both indie wrestlers, and we had them on the podcast, first and third time, people we had on the show. And I was like, Geek, do you want to try to get indie wrestlers? And he's like, all right. So yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's the least we could do is a retweet like a match you're in or something like that, to show like,
that one person could see one person, send it to one person, share it to another person, or just see it, not like it. It still gets seen somehow, somewhat. So it's great.
yeah.
yeah, that's the fun. Oh, here we go. Ever so Sophie, do you have any pets? Yes, she has a cute cat.
Where did you go?
It
Here
was
he
right
is.
there. He is right there in the corner.
Because I have a steak. I told you guys I had steak shrimp salad right here. So look at, there you go. He's a part of it.
Yay, kitty!
He's like, "Are you gonna eat that?" Because I'm sitting here.
It's like that guy on the train. Hey, you gonna have this salad?
Oh,
No, I was with actually Spiffy, and what happened was some guy in Penn. This was back in the pizza, Roses in Penn Station, or you ever been there?
no, I haven't.
All right, so anyway, there's a pizza place in Penn Station. It's called Roses Pizza. Spiffy knows where I'm going with this story. The guy goes up to me and says, "Do you have any money?" I'm like, "No, sir. I'm sorry. I don't have any money." "Then can I have your slice of pizza?" I'm like, "You're going to eat the pizza after I just ate it." I'm like, "No." I'm like, and I said, "No, sir. No." It was like, "All right, fine. You're a bunch of greedy bastards."
Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine something like that. Like anytime somebody like I started actually doing. My friend Ali actually got told by another former wrestler that's in Ring of Honor. I forgot exactly who. When you're at hotels and you take all the free stuff, the body wash and stuff like that, and like the free samples, like she started doing it, but you sample them off in bags. So the people that are actually homeless or unless they're working you give them something to wash themselves with. So at least they ask you for money, but at least you help them out in some type of way.
Uh-huh.
So anytime somebody asks me I could tell, you can kind of tell the ones that ask for money or what doesn't, or the ones that maybe just want you to pull out your money in your pocket and see what you got just so they can just snag and run,
Yeah.
But I give you that. I would have said something more foul. That's more foul. Jeez. I'm over here.
That cat was jumping all over the place.
On the window now.
Oh, yeah. Spiffy says he wanted her pizza.
He wanted your pizza. Oh,
He wanted,
fresh.
yeah,
So-
right up the bat. He's like, yeah. It's like, you don't have money? Okay, fine. I want your pizza then.
So, as a person that does Special Olympics, like, what kind of workout regimen do you do to keep yourself in shape before matches?
By Special Olympics, I don't really do Olympic stuff. I mean, powerlifting's considered, yeah. Like I don't do CrossFit or anything like that, and I give a lot of people that do CrossFit a lot of things. That's where I tried to start off, but before a match, it's hard because I used to think I was Superwoman and be able to do complete training of my powerlifting and then be able to slam my back 3 days or twice a week. You know what I mean? And then it didn't work out well. I herniated a disc in my back. So now I change it up a little bit more. I take so many bookings, but that's if, you know what I mean? It works out and we agree on a booking. So if I have the weekend off, I'll actually use that for like my heavy week because I know I have actual time to rest and actually just kind of do my own spare time besides my shoot work and everything else like that. So I get ready for cardio. I do about 30 to 40 minutes of cardio. I do 30 minutes on bench, squat, back days. I do about 30 minutes of cardio, and it's usually walking at a certain incline. And then sometimes I'll do some sprints. Hey, sorry. So I do that, and then I kind of just stick light, and I do more volume reps and stuff like that to get a lot of blood flow in me. And I cut the carbs out kind of during the week, and then I'll end up having my cheat either on a Thursday if I wrestle Saturday, because I end up actually getting very pumped off of a day after my cheat. Like I get pumped during my cheat, but then it stays good if I do more volume workout. So it's kind of like more high reps, low weight. My weekends off or my weeks off, I usually end up crushing it, going back to compound heavy weightlifting, you know what I mean? Deadlifting 300 something pounds and stuff like that. But I don't deadlift on weekends that I wrestle because that's just asking for something terrible. And even if you could do it now, like I used to do it, I deadlifted 451 pounds at at a meet and qualified for the Arnold while I was wrestling every weekend. You know what I mean? So I did it for so long. And Big E even told me from WWE, he said, there's only so long you could continue to do that rate, like doing, you know what I mean? Eventually it'll catch up because you got to think you're being thrown around, you're turning your body certain ways, and then deadlifting is one form, keeping your back straight. Squat is a very steady form too, and it could screw you all up. So it's just like you're compounding this weight after being thrown around and being twisted and turned. So it's, you got to think what it's doing to your body. Yeah. So I kind of fell back on that, and I kind of found little different things to deal with upcoming events, and I cut back a lot of carbs and up my cardio. So
I was trying to explain what I meant, Christina, about how I do Special Olympics, and I always try to keep myself in shape because I swim and I bowl and stuff like that. That's what I meant. I was like, oh God, I hope she doesn't think
you want to stretch. Always want to stretch, especially before a match. So like right before a match, if you had to say, on a day of a show, if it's Saturday, I'm usually supposed to do shoulders, but instead of me doing overhead press, I will do side, front, rear, lateral. You get the, wow, that was a tongue twister. But you get what I'm saying? I do like a couple different things with 5-pound weights, but you do them until you can't go no more. And then I eat a good meal. I chill out, get ready, and then get on the road. And then that time frame, I'll actually be ready to go, and I'll have a great pump. So that's pretty much what I do, and stretch.
It's always good to get a good stretch in before you do powerlifting, anything, swimming, bowling. If you don't get a good stretch, you throw the ball the wrong way, you're gonna pull your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you do a good stretch and you lift your weight, you could hurt your neck, your like shoulder, pull a muscle or whatever. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's true. We're not young anymore. I mean, back then we could kind of get away with it and then be able to bounce back, but we're getting older now, so it's like, you're out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're done. Right.
So, what's your opinion on intergender wrestling, and who would you like to face?
My opinion about intergender wrestling, I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I've had my fair few shares of intergender matches, singles and tags, and I think it's awesome. I mean, especially coming from training with a school with just nothing but men, you know what I mean? So I think I'm able to have more of a creativity during my matches with men versus females, not against anything. It's just a size matter of fact, you know what I mean? So if I find a taller, great in shape woman that I'm wrestling, you know what I mean? I almost is like, I'm excited because it's like how I was trained with, the guys that were 5'11", you know what I mean? At least 180 pounds, great shit, you know what I mean? So it was like, I always could do my more athleticism moves of agility and my kind of like my little lucha, little run spot, like like the stuff I used to get taught from Shockwave. But then I ended up basing off of the powerlifting and just sticking with the heavy moves because I was really good at picking up anything that was pretty much 200 pounds or anything that's in that frame, depending on the lift. So it's.
And who would you like to face?
I would. See, I haven't even thought about it. If I had to think, I don't know. Would have. Oh my gosh, I don't know who would I face right now if I was trying to think. You're gonna have to come back. Come back and ask me that towards the end, and I'll be able to give the answer because right now I can't think of anything off the top of my head, and I don't want to say something that's not real or something that I don't really want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's cool, Christina. That we totally understand. It's something like that.
Can we skip?
No, skip button. Boop, skip. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Have you ever wrestled on Long Island?
Long Island?
Yeah, like no.
No, I have not. I wrestled in Rhode Island, not Long Island.
There's three promotions that are Long Island that you should put on your list of places that you want to wrestle in. There's Cap.
Create a
Pro.
That's one place.
Okay, Creative Pro.
Yeah,
Creative Pro. There's VPW, which is
Victory Pro
Wrestling. It's a hidden gem. They have a really good women's division.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the champion they have right now, you would put up a good fight against Karen Bam Bam. I think you and Karen would be a great match. I think you and her will make
It's
it
actually
great.
somebody I have not wrestled yet. So that's actually crazy you say that. 'Cause actually, I was wondering because I was thinking about how many people I've wrestled in the Northeast with my fair share of other people. You know what I mean? And I was thinking of like who, and I said that's probably one of them because I knew she's wrestled Adina Steele and a few other girls that I've wrestled with in her current past.
So that could be a possibility match down in the future.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you never know what the future brings, man.
Yeah, you never know. Never know.
And
And also,
Papa Dank liked that, by the way. He's a podcaster, so
yeah, he's one of us. He's fan. Yeah, so another promotion is the New York Wrestling Connection, NYWC. That's another good one.
See, I haven't heard of these, and it's crazy because I usually hear the name or so, but I'm gonna have to look that up once you actually, we get off of this. I'll look it up.
Victory Pro. That's the first one's Victory Pro.
Victory Pro. Yes,
Yeah,
actually, I've heard of that. Doesn't matter. Yeah, no, I've heard of that. I remember. Sorry, no, I'm not gonna think of who. Like it's no point.
Yeah, there's that one. There's one that only does shows like randomly. I guess they only do one show a year. It's in Jersey. They're called We Are Wrestling. They're pretty good. They found us. It was hilarious.
I'm trying to think who I want to wrestle.
I know another girl that.
Oh man, why do I do that all the time, Joe? I stump the guests all the time on the questions.
It used to be me. That used to be me. That used to be that. I used to get so sad. Like she's gonna hate us forever. She's gonna message us. Don't bother me ever again.
He's like, you stumped me on that question.
Well, you know what it is. The thing is with these podcasts, you say the max that you want, and then it appears. So not to say like unless you really mean it. So I'm like, me and my luck, I'll say it, and then it'll be booked next week for all I know. I am off the next weekend, so
You'll be like, guys, look, and you'll send us a poster of you and Karen.
Yeah, look at this.
Like, we did it.
We did it. It's actually happening now. Yay! All right.
I'll send you the emoji from The Office. It's happening. It's happening. That's like my favorite emoji to do. It's happening. Trying to think what else. So we saw you wrestled in that. It was like almost like the MMA style.
The CFU.
Yes, Combat Fights Unlimited.
So,
I believe that's it.
So what was it like?
It was great. I mean, I didn't win, so I mean,
Aw.
I was not really prepared as much as I would like to be. It was different, and I think it's a great start, you know what I mean, to something new, something different because it's mixed with everything else, between kickboxing, MMA, amateur wrestling, and shoot fighting, you know what I mean, and then you got pro wrestling. So it's really mixed with all that stuff, so you get to see a little bit of everything, which most people just want to see the grappling and the shoot fighting, which I prefer that too. So, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like different styles. So you got to use all your,
It's awesome.
you got to use what you know. If it's more amateur wrestling, if it's more kickboxing, everybody has their resume, you know what I mean? So like whatever. So it's like I only have powerlifting and amateur wrestling, but I never did it in high school. But I did it with my brothers when they came home. They did it. They practiced with me growing up. But I happen to remember it because I was so young. So I ended up using that as a tactic against my opponent. And then more of the punch style because that's what I've known to be good at, like growing up, like punching and stuff. So I guess that's why it was neat. I actually want to really do a real cage war thing. There's a lot of that goes on near my hometown in Schenectady at the Rivers Casino. And I have a lot of buddies that are in MMA and in the cage fight and stuff like that have literally been waiting with open arms to have me come walking in. And I just haven't because every time I go to think about doing it, I have great opportunities coming up. So then I'm like, I don't want to multitask and then throw myself completely out. So I'm not trying to be smart, but then I'm like, I'm not being the courageous person that I am. So like, again, I'm this close to doing it because I think I could be great as something, not just one thing, another thing, multiple things, but it was a good experience. So it's making me actually the feeling in there, the way I felt, even though it was what it was for pro wrestling also, I want the real feeling, if you know what I'm saying, like the real feeling. And my father never really wanted me to get into it. So, but now I'm at the age where I'm like, why can't I go out there and at least try? Win or lose. If I win, I come back. If I lose, whatever. But at the same time, I'm still a pro wrestler, so I wouldn't have to make it a full-time thing. But it's something I want to check off. So is great.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing more promotions open up with the MMA and pro wrestling. Do you think more? Do you think that's a new trend now, or because you have Bloodsport, you have CFU, and
I think it draws a different type of fan crowd. I think it draws in a lot more of the more the more graphic, kind of hard hitting kind of shit. You know, if you ask me, like, you know, I'm not saying pro wrestling isn't hard hitting. No, not at all. But it's like, you know, most people love MMA, love boxing.
yeah,
If you can actually see like a pro wrestler kind of step out their element and actually use some of their athleticism and their what they know and see a little different style of them and you're a fan, then it's exciting. It's something different. It's something you want to see. So I think it's a great. I think it's great because it's like blood sport and everything else, and it's just this different type of crowd that goes there far more than just the regular people that want to see general, you know, pro wrestling and a good storyline and a good, you know, well ran venue. You know.
Yeah. We just had Christina. We just had Megan Mason on the podcast like recently. Was it like
I think a week. It was 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
I seen
And
her.
she said Lady Frost is a tough opponent.
I seen clips
Yeah.
of that match and it seemed pretty short, but it just seemed like a pretty hard hitting kind of fight, if you ask me. You know what I mean? So I got the chance to talk to her before she hit the road. She had a long drive back and stuff like that, and I haven't got a chance to see her since we wrestled at Atomic about 2 years ago.
Yeah, that roster I was looking at their website, their Instagram page, because they like followed us, and we were like looking, and I was like, man, that roster CFU is like stacked. All the ladies that we are pretty much getting on the podcast in this coming October. We had there's Megan. It's like a curveball.
You had the Steel on here, the Dina Steel.
Dina Steel. Oh my gosh! Even if there's like a curveball in there, I was like, Kennedy Copeland. What?
I was like, Karen Bam Bam's in there. What?
I was like,
what is Karen? It's a whole great mix-up, isn't it?
Yeah. What is like? It's like I was like looking at down the list, and I went. I think I was talking to Geek before a show like this, and I was like, Kennedy Copeland.
Imagine they got Karen.
Hardcore girl. Was she gonna rip the cage apart and start chasing the girl around with the piece of the cage? Like,
it was great. I studied a little bit before I went there because it was the second time they ran. So I seen that you know what I mean. It seemed like some of it was a shoot, some of it wasn't. So like you kind of get the feel of it. So, but like some of the girls, you know, like I said, it was unique seeing them in a different kind of setting. You know what I mean? Or seeing girls not expect other girls to really throw them around and slam them around, and then, you know, it kind of looks like real. You know what I mean? I thought it was neat. So
yeah. There's some of the girls that are like trained, like Lady Frost. She's a good.
Yeah, she does it with her boy or her husband, I think, on the side, and she always did like combat stuff like that.
Yeah, I was just like, and also Killer Kate. She's trained in that style too.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one we've been dying to. We got in touch with her, but then she's only available on certain days, and we're like,
yeah.
But
it's hard, you know. It's hard, especially when people actually have a normal life outside of it. That on the independence, it's very hard. And then, like, if something comes up, it's not even like people sometimes mean it, but communication is the damn key.
Yeah.
You know, and professionalism especially goes with it. So don't say you want to be on a show or don't. You know, if somebody can't open a message, sometimes it's not that they mean it; they forget about it. That's why, like, some people feel like they're bothering us. It's not that. It's actually good to stay kind of consistent because it's like we don't mean it. You know.
Yeah. You know, I understand that. Like sometimes in my mind, when I look at a message and it's not open, I think the other side of me that's not the podcaster, I go, they don't want to talk to us. But in the opposite side, I think positive. I go,
it's probably the request box.
It's probably in the request box because that's what we get lately.
Yeah.
Christina, it's hilarious. It's like, oh my God, I did not see your message. It's in the request box. It's like new message.
It happens to me all the time. Literally, I don't even mean it. I don't. Even when I talk to my friends like Adina and like Michaela, I'm like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just
You could eat your dinner at the same time. We're not gonna get
okay.
mad.
That one shrimp was calling me. I touched it like 3 times. I had to eat it.
It's like, come on, you know you want to eat.
That made me happy. It gave me energy. See?
Shrimp. The shrimp's like a cartoon. It's like,
That's like a tie-in right there. What's your favorite food?
I love steak. I love steak and sweet potatoes. Like it's part of like when I meal prep too, and I eat steak all the time. But like that's like my go-to. If that had to be my last meal, it'd be like steak, a potato, and great vegetable. I just a great full delicious meal or vodka panini or vodka pasta and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, guys, I want it right now. I have a salad here, but
yes.
it's a steak, shrimp, a garden salad.
I'm half Puerto Rican, so it would have to be a nice fat benmeal with a big thing of rice and beans, either white rice with beans or just the yellow rice, the red rice with the beans on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I
the
love
skin on
rice.
benmeal. Have you ever had benmeal before?
No, but I heard
Oh,
it's delicious. So
it's like a pork. I'm not gonna go into details. Just say the skin's like bacon. That's all I'm gonna say.
man, I'm a bacon girl.
Oh, you'll love that.
Bacon.
You gotta hang. That sounds like
No, this
that
just
sounds
came
like
out of nowhere. You know.
it's just you can't eat it safe. It's so sloppy. You have to have that napkin on your lap as you're eating it, and then you're like, or you just take, or you just take your boyfriend's shirt and go, honey, oh, yeah, you're missing.
See, I mean, don't ever grab my food while I'm eating. Like, you know what I mean? Like, see, if I offer you it, that means I'm extra happy. Like, you know what I mean? I should get like one of those bowls that say Christina doesn't like to share. That's her.
See,
For
this
me-
is cool.
For me, it's pasta and burgers. Not together.
I
Not
love
together.
everything.
Though.
We're talking about everything. I want everything. We're talking about pasta. I'm talking about like lobster tail. I was thinking about everything. I was like, oh my God.
I can't eat shellfish, so I'm stuck eating the fish and chips in the corner crying.
Oh, it's all right. You know, more for us.
Yeah. I used to be able to eat, like, when I was in college, they brought us to a comedy club, and I ate the shrimp, and then I went back to the dorm room to go, I'm going to go wash my face. My eyes feel funny. Went to the bathroom, came out, yeah, my eyes, it looked like I got in a fight with Lady Frost. My eyes were,
Probably
looked like,
swelled up, right?
oh no, it's my eyes got puffy. It looked like, yeah. You ever see the episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Will's eyes got really puffy?
Yes.
That's what I look like. I was like, what do you mean I'm giving you a 3 That's what I look like.
Be lucky if your airway didn't allergic
Yeah.
reaction like that. It was just that, but I'm not saying that's any better.
Yeah, I was kind of scared. Call my mom. She's like, "What happened?" I was like, "No, what'd you eat for dinner?" I had shrimp. She's like, "Oh my God, you're allergic to shellfish!"
How did I not know this?
Yeah, my mom.
You didn't tell me.
Yeah. Freaking out, mom. This is what we talk about here. We talk about everything. We love talking about everything here on Dudes at Ringside. It doesn't matter like what. Here we go. Next question. Go, Geek. Go.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. You've been talking the whole night. You might as well finish the rest of the interview.
No, Geek. Go next. Joe.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
that's the heel side and Geek coming out right now.
You go next.
It's all right. I'm good.
No, Geek, get to asking him the question.
All right. Well, what's your favorite dream place to go to?
As for what?
For wrestling. For wrestling. What is
wrestling or trip, whatever.
I'd be happy to be anywhere that television is at this point. I'm been 6 years into it, so ultimately the dream was WWE. You know what I mean? But now there's so many options. There's so many opportunities.
Definitely.
It's hard to say what you would want versus what you would get asked or an opportunity to get. So it goes with a lot of politics and what your decision making is and the facts too. So ultimately, it'd be WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because from the roots on, it's been WWE for years since we go years and centuries back. So everyone still knows, even though everybody has their own opinion on who's better and what's better. I think everybody's better. I don't know if anyone's better than anyone else. At the same time, it's be grateful to have any opportunity at this point. Even AEW, it's a lot of girls getting their time, getting their shot out there, getting seen. You know what I mean? Getting their opportunity. And I know eventually I'll be able to have my opportunity given to me. It's just a matter of when the time will be, and when it is, it matters of who would want me first, who would want me as their talent, and wherever I go, they're gonna be very very thankful. You know what I mean? And I'm positive. So.
Yeah, you definitely got to try to keep yourself positive these days because there's so many opportunities now from back in the day, the early days of the indies. You think that you're gonna get picked up by a WWE or a WCW back in the day, and then you end up spending your whole career in the minors. Now you're in the minors, you're like, I'm never gonna get picked up, and then here walks in a Tony Khan or uh, a Ring of Honor, and then that door is open to send you any way you want. WWE,
Not to shame anything, but some people have made a career on the indies.
It's
It's selling T-shirts like, I don't want to say who, but Joe knows who I'm talking about. Some people have literally said, WWE is not for me or AEW is not for me. I think I'm going to stay right here, sell my T-shirts, do this, do my second job, and
yeah,
that's what they're doing. So
if you can make a living and you're satisfied with whatever you're making a living, at the end of the day, you go to sleep and you wake up happy, and then that's what you. Some people are making a living off of OnlyFans. Some people are making a living off of freaking not living anywhere, but just going, you know what I mean, the job to job to job, you know what I mean, and just living on the road. You know what I mean? As us, as wrestlers, we kind of do that, especially people that are signed. You know what I mean? Like they're traveling 20 days on the road at a time. They got to pack everything. They don't get to stop home and see anything. You know what I mean? So it's just like, they don't get that free time. So it's like they technically live on the road too, So it's just, it's
I totally get what you guys go through because Geek and I both work in like a retail style job. I work in a grocery store. Geek works for Coke. Wrong way.
Coca-Cola.
This reverse mirror thing is hard for me because I could be pointing like this and I point to my wall, but when I point this way, I know it's like I'm pointing to my door. It's like I'm pointing to my wall, but I try to point at Geek and I have to point at my wall, so like I'm pointing at him.
I know. I noticed this one. I was trying to look at my cat. I was like, whoa.
Where is he?
Like the opposite. So I'm not used to this.
Like he works for Coca-Cola in Long Island. I work at a grocery store. Like I can go back to work Monday, which I do. I go back to my vacation. There could be a new kid there that stocks better than me, and they'll be like, "Sorry, Joe. 3 years were nice enough for you. Have a good life. You're fired." Like that. We're not wrestling. We're stocking shelves, but still,
Do you work those graveyard shifts, or do you like work a normal shift?
I work from 9 to 4 shifts. I do like this is for me. Since the pandemic, I haven't been going to the gym. Kifu has been my gym. I stock the truck all by myself. Take the stuff, put them on the U-boats every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. With sodas and oh gosh, it's insane. Insane, little me every day. It's just insane.
It's crazy.
So, what have you been watching? Any like Netflix specials or movies lately?
Nothing recently. It's been hard to even sit down and watch anything. Most of the time, I sit down and try to catch up on what I missed on highlights between WWE, AEW, and what I need to do to look up for further shows for me. And then I watch all my stuff over and over again until it's burnt into my memory, until I have dreams. But it's actually a good memory pace for me. So I'm more eased at what I do now, even though I just enjoy watching my matches over so I can be my worst critic. So I can always know that I'm never going to be perfect every time. So I know there's never even close to perfect every time, but I love to always be able to keep working on what I need to do to make myself better, always better, you know. So in my spare time, I do that. Right now, I'm occasionally picking up more dental work because I was not working dental for a while because of COVID. So I'm just starting to apply for dental offices because I'm a dental assistant. But so far, most of my time I did during COVID, I did masonry jobs. So I did with my dad. We did sidewalks, driveways, patios, you know, mixing mud, mud as in cement, and the truck and all that stuff. So I do side work with my dad, laying block and brick and stuff, doing foundations and stuff. So I do all that hard labor stuff, and I just grew up into it. So I've been making good money off of that. So just now I'm kind of like, winter's coming. Work always gets shorted because it's usually how it is. So I kind of just wanted to pick the pace up back into what I really know and what I really love to do during my weekdays. So I kind of occasionally get some jobs, temp jobs, and get in and do that. But that's what I do in my spare time besides be at the gym and try to catch up with friends and see my father and my stepmom and my family, like my niece and nephew and stuff. And I just try to catch up. It's so hard to even give sometimes even a phone call like while you're doing stuff. Like it's difficult, but I try to keep going. I try to stay busy. So, and that's the best way to
It's
go,
super
right?
hard. So it's funny. Today I saw the pictures. She wants. It's just Piffy wants to know what your cat's name is.
That cat, his name is Mickey. I have two of them. I got a female. Her name is Pid. It's PID. Thank you. They're a Siamese breed called Balamese. So it's the certain brand of Siamese. It's a long-haired Siamese. They're 10 and a half and 10 years old. I've had them for a very long time. And I support cats.
It's so funny because I saw the picture on your Instagram with your friend. Is it Kylie Spark? Am I saying it wrong?
Kayla Sparks, yes, yeah. She just had a
Going on
movie premiere this past Thursday. It was great. It was a great experience to see somebody, you being so happy. When good things happen to good people and you just see it happen to somebody, it's so contagious. And I was very honored to have her, ask me to go with her and be a part of it. It was a big deal, and I'm just happy. Like it was.
She's coming on our podcast tomorrow at 2:30. So if
She
you're available,
actually told me that. Now that you brought it up, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It was so
you could tell her.
no,
it
go
was
ahead.
so it was so awesome to see her as the first match open up Arthur Ashe Stadium.
I
For
know, right?
the first match that she was like the first match.
She was so excited and so nervous, everything that we all get and stuff like that. But I told her, I go, you deserve it. Like after her story and being told, and now, her movie comes out, and then eventually she'll be getting a documentary done and stuff like that. That's really how it is versus, how they make movies. They always fill things in. So, but she's been through tremendous amount of stuff throughout her years, and then for her to come back out and then still be pure and nice to some people that don't even she's teaching me now to be very patient or don't get as mad or offensive about certain things like how I've been. So like it's great being friends with her within a short period of time, and we've hit it off. She's a great joy to be around. But like I said, anybody that deserves more of that opportunity to be in that stadium, she had to be it was her. It had to be her. She did a great job. Yeah, Thunder Rosa laid it in on her, but you know what I mean? But she still managed to pick herself up, get all, fancy dancy, and she went to her freaking premiere looking great, smiling ear to ear. You know what I mean? I told her, I go, how do you smile this much? It hurts my face. You know what I mean?
What Joker says, smiling is infectious. It's like a
Yes.
disease.
That's why I try to smile a lot too, and that's why everyone always can tell when something's like wrong with me. Like if you know me like a little bit closer on a personal level, because like I could smile, but I could really smile. But like if it looks like I'm like you can tell there's something wrong with me and stuff. So it's just like I wear my heart on my sleeve with passion, and that's about anything, people, issues, business, anything. I'm hard on myself a lot often than I think. So.
I'm like that too. With this whole our buddy Max is here finally. Hey Max, welcome.
Favorite tag team as me and a tag team or favorite tag team ever that I
I
love.
guess maybe like he probably meant like of all
Yeah,
time. Probably
of all time, your
I would say
favorite tag
Hardy
team.
Boys.
was that
The Hardy Boys.
Hardy's. Oh yeah.
Yeah, or the Usos. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
I loved them when they came out with like their skirts and everything back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day. Oh my gosh, I was big about that. So
I'm more like the old school guy on the podcast. I always have to go back out to the old school guys. Like my first tag team I ever like. I was born in the '80s, like, and I watched a lot of '80s, '90s wrestlers. So the Steiner brothers always caught my eyes with those colors and like the way they were. And then they went WCW. They went bad guy. They were like black. Didn't have that neon colors. Didn't wear the Michigan logos anymore.
mhm.
Like I don't know. Something about the Steiner brothers always made me like, yeah,
Old
wrestling.
school
Old school.
wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wrestling. That
And to
time.
Brandon, always smile. It takes less energy to smile than it does to frown. And I tell myself that all the time. I'm like, stop wasting muscles.
I was telling Geek, I was like, Geek, have you seen Christina do her workout regimen? No. Why are you looking so? You gotta look and see see what they do. You gotta investigate, and that's why I investigate. I look at the Instagram page and look the name up, and I was just like, Geek, she could she could pick me up on one arm, pick you on the other arm, and just run with us on her shoulders and just run, like Brock Lesnar style, and just run. Guys, don't move.
uh,
We're her logs. Like
I haven't been posting really any too much lately because it's just been so hard with being able to record or having someone else. I have to actually get a new tripod because this is just a ring light that I have that I let John use as well. But like I need to get my own tripod and start doing it. But like I back then I used to consistently upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday religiously. You know what I mean? Like for my competition training and stuff. But I like how you guys went back and checked that out. But
yeah, I love watching because as you say, I like to work out, and I have a friend that I got in touch with like during the pandemic named Michael Hito. I'm probably not watching. He's a like you. He does a lot of big working out. I gotta tell him, dude, you gotta check out Christina Marie. She's she's a great athlete, and she power lifts. He's a power lifter like you. And he's jacked, and he always talks about lifting. And I'm like, you gotta go on Christina's page and watch her lift, dude. Check her out. She does good stuff.
you know, and I'm grateful to be this strong and got as far as I have in the powerlifting careers versus pro wrestling career is my coach Joey. I've known him for the last I've known him since I started wrestling, but my powerlifting career started right before that. I started around the same time, so like he's seen my body transform quick and be able to respond to nutrients and diet plans quicker than he would ever see any of his clients that he's worked with throughout the years for bodybuilding. And I don't even do bodybuilding. He says that there's a gene, there's just something. I don't know if it's, and if you look at my brothers and my dad, they're strong, they're thinner. I have more body fat on my than they do. You know what I mean? I think because I'm a girl, and we all have hormones, So like, but they're not heavier. They're great. They're in great shape, but not T-ball. Like I got bigger arms than my brothers. You know what I mean? Like I've wrestled my brothers now. They know better not to wrestle me. They know. You know what I mean? They're 8 and 7 years older than me. So
Brandon is like when about before I agree with Christina with the Hardy Boys came back with WrestleMania.
oh my God, that pop when they came back.
I was there.
I jumped. You were there. Oh my God, that energy! I felt it through the TV. I was like, I marked out a little bit, but thank God it was in all these four walls.
Everybody, the cat's
a witness to it. He was like, I don't know who this is. I wasn't even born yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm trying to convince Joe to go to WrestleMania this year.
I'm thinking about it. That change that you saw that jar and I have pennies around the corner above on my computer screen. Originally supposed to go to Universal, but then the pandemic kind of like squashed that like a fly on the wall. like if I could convince my mom, Mom Panther, like I'll definitely go to WrestleMania because I went to WrestleMania 20 in the Garden, which is that's my end all be all. I think that's every indie wrestler before in the Garden. And for me, as an '80s child and slash '90s, Madison Square Garden for me is like home. Anytime I go to the city and I'm near the Garden, always gotta take a picture. I scared everybody in my house.
I scared everybody that was sitting next to me.
I think like the whole earth stood still, but it shook. If you know what I'm saying, like when that
Yeah.
happened, like it was number one. I think was pop for me in the last couple of years, anyways. If I could think of off the top of my head, but still, it's crazy.
Yeah,
My
it's
buddy
just
wants
like
to know if you watch New Japan.
I don't. I did a little while ago. Not a little while ago, excuse me. A couple of years ago, I started watching whatever would be posted by like Commander James and like Masha. That when they were over there, and like anybody I followed, yeah. But again, it's so hard for me to watch. The normal things that I actually try to catch up because I really want to watch. It's hard for me to even spend time to study or like studying in Japan. But that's also been an ultimate goal too. Like to always get there.
you can always go to Stardom. That's another big one too.
Mhm.
Hey, what's going
What's up?
on? My sister has two cats, and her girlfriend has two cats too. My sister's cats are Gypsy and Houdini.
This is my female cat. She looks the same, but she has a small face.
Oh, kitty. Oh, so cute.
She's like shrimp. Oh, see how mad she got? You guys are a witness to her bitchness. Excuse my mouth.
You can curse, Christina. Don't be worried.
Oh, I know. I try not to because, like, in the real life, I got like every other word. You know what I mean? So I'm doing very well right now.
Yeah, you're good. We're not like Geek always says that you could tell. I always tell him. I always tell the guests you can curse, and then Geek is like, for now.
It's once we get sponsors, all bets are off.
Oh,
Like,
right. Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I'm like downing us, but like I don't.
Joe's always a negative one of the podcast. I don't know why.
Because I live with my parents, and my mom is a lot of time like, you know, how many views did you get? You know that TikTok video? They goes din din din. I'm like, Dad, the podcast went great, but my mom's like, but how many viewers did you get? And you hear that din din din
Oh
din
my god.
in your head. I'm just like, 8. She's like, 8. That's all. 8. That's all people. What are you guys doing wrong? Like, what is it? Like, what do you guys do? Do you not promote the wrestler the right way? And I'm like, Mom. She's like, how many
We
people?
started this 6 months ago or 8
Yeah.
months ago. You really think it's going to take off overnight? It took Joe Rogan 10 years to get to 1 million or 2 million viewers.
It takes work and consistency. You got to keep working out and get your viewers and your fans in too.
And also, for us, Christina, we like to build a relationship with the wrestlers. Then like you're always busy, so like I feel bad. Like I'll be messaging you and like you don't respond because you're busy training or doing something, and you're. But like Geek's like you're always messaging the wrestlers. I'm like, that's how you build a relationship with these people. So they know you're real people and not bots.
You got to think. You got to, you know what I mean? You got to get a way to talk, and then you get somewhat of a response back. It's just like I told you, we get really busy, and sometimes when we forget or we open it, and then it's in the midst of us walking our shit out to our cars, or us doing something with immediate family, or we accidentally open it when we weren't ready to respond to you, and then all of a sudden the highlight of it being bold is gone, and then you forget to respond back from when you accidentally opened it to respond back. It's it's pretty sure everybody's dealt with it with like being busy at times when your personal people try to call or like try to text you for that moment. You got to give it back.
We had a question from the audience.
Oh, sorry. What or who?
Inspired to get you into wrestling.
What inspired me to get into wrestling? Actually, I was not a wrestling fan growing up young. I wasn't. I was very good with UFC, but I got into pro wrestling. And what got me into pro wrestling was my mom dying of brain cancer. So I wanted to step out my element and do something courageous, just like she fought brain cancer for 9.5 years since I was 11, 12 years old until I was 21. I started my professional wrestling career when I was 21, turning 22. So it's not like she pushed me to do it. It was just that I found a school nearby and I wanted to do something. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to see what it was like. So I started actually watching AJ Lee, Caitlyn, and all them when it was their feud during WWE, because a current ex-boyfriend watched WWE a long time ago. So I ended up watching it with him, and I ended up falling in love with it like I didn't when I was a kid. It's weird. So my mom died, and I was doing powerlifting. That was helping me with my depression. Knowing that she was going to die those 9 years, she was going to die any day, and then she died finally. But it was like taking care of her, and then kind of putting a pause in my life as a young teenage girl to be able to finish school, because I couldn't learn right, couldn't speak in front of the classroom. Like I said, between cutting promos now and walking in front of 600 to 1,000 fans, like I was never scared to read a paragraph in front of somebody. So her dying made me decide to not try to be scared of everything that I was kind of held back from and that I had an issue with facing. So it brought a different side of me and it opened me up. And ever since I did it, I knew how to cope with the loss of staying busy and taking my adrenaline. Because I'm a big adrenaline junkie. I mean, we're consistently slammed, or we love. That's what we are. We're all ADHD. You know what I mean? After everything I went through, wrestling helped me cope with losing my mother, because my life went on a pause. And it's not your fault, and I appreciate your apology, but I always say this to everybody: when you go through something, everybody's always sorry. It's kind of like hard what you're going to say to somebody when they lose somebody. And after losing my grandmother and my mother around within a 2-year difference, and I took care of both of them under the age of 20, so I didn't finish school. So that's how I ended up where I was, because I figured I was such good at athletic stuff, like doing athletic stuff, and doing sports, and it helped me deal with my mental health. And it still helps me deal with my mental health on a high note, especially being older now, understanding what that little girl went through. And then knowing that when it happened, I found it, and a lot of people, I'm kind of glad you asked that question, because a lot of people don't know my story, but my story is really messed up, but I just don't share it with many people because sometimes it's very hard for me to share it because it sucks. Cancer sucks. Losing anybody from an accident or losing somebody suddenly, it sucks. But they wouldn't want you weak. My mom wasn't weak when she was fighting cancer. Yeah, the cancer made her weak. It ate her alive. She didn't know who I was. She didn't know when my birthday was. I had to change her diapers. I had to do all that stuff, you know what I mean, at one period of time. So it made me say she fought continuously, courageously, and wasn't in pain, though, but it looked like she was. But she wasn't. And there was a proven fact with doctors that she wasn't, and I said I can't feel pain and have a reason to make up an excuse why I'm not finding myself and what I like to do and what I'm good at. So it took my mental statement, it swept me around, and I ended up chasing things that I loved. So she's the reason why I ended up where it is, and that's where I got the gimmick from, is courageous. It goes a lot far. So she was courageously fighting, you know what I mean? And I'm her daughter, and I'm going to be courageous Christina Marie. And that's where.
That's great.
Thanks.
It's awesome.
Because I'm a cancer
You could
survivor.
be a hug right now. You could. When you're crying.
It just thanks for asking that. Sometimes people forget people are real people and they went through some shit. So don't judge people. A lot of women, a lot of men judge other people. Like, you have no idea what somebody went through. And I've learned a lot of people in the locker room that people have a story. And there's a reason why they're standing in front of one another. And we exchange stories, There's a reason why people meet, So my influence I could give to little girls, anybody out there, grown men, anything, is just stay strong, because they wouldn't want you to feel anything. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, as much as it's hard to believe, just take that energy and push. That's how I got through my match, even though I lost my championship with Megan Bain. What made it through also was that one fan that shocked me with that thing, and it just took me completely out of my mental statement, because I thought I was completely going to be and he saved me. But just stay strong. Like stay strong. You're gonna have times you're gonna cry. You're gonna put yourself. You know what I mean? There's venting times, but wipe it off, break it off, and do what they would want you to do. And I pray that, and I know that's what she would want me to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Sorry.
Okay,
It's
Christina.
okay. It's okay.
Wow.
It's good. I say that if you have a story and you want to tell it, we always let the wrestler tell their story. If it's sad, then my thing is I always say, let it out.
Yeah.
Let us tell your stories. It could be hard. It could be hard to tell the stories,
Mhm.
but our microphone is always open for you to tell your stories. That's what we love.
Mhm.
For you guys to come tell your stories, we will hug and we will make you feel. If you're crying, we will embrace you and make you feel better. And by telling the stories, our fans will know about you even more, and they want to know about you.
So when he asked me that, and I always say it's like when I was asked this following week. I'm just not going to name anybody. I got asked what my story was, and I remember in the business they always say like, you're going to get asked things. You better make sure you know your answers, or you know what I mean, or even if it's truly about you, explaining. You're going to ask what my story was. I was very shocked. At the same time, I was just like, wow, this is really happening. Like, I'm getting asked about my story. So at the same time, I was like, I never want people to feel bad for me. I don't. I don't. That's why I think I don't talk about it. But when people ask me, or the people that really know from following me, my big fan base, they know kind of what happened. But nobody's really like gotten down to detail. Like that's why I thought about doing a documentary right at the last Immortal show, based off of the day, because it was this. 6 years since my mom passed away and stuff, like 7 years, excuse me, 6 years that I've wrestled, 7 years she passed. So it was just like I wanted to encourage people that I went through a big pause in my life because of taking care of my mom, but watching my mom disintegrate from cancer at the same time, hoping she was going to live the next day and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But now I'm catching up for it. But don't stop it from don't stop yourself from ending your life because you lost somebody. Live for them. So that day when I lost my title against Megan being Immortal, I gave it my all. I still got up. I still wasn't injured. Yeah, I got beat, but at the end of the day, I said I still stood. And at the end of the day, I thought about my mom fighting cancer. I said the same day, I said, you may win, you may lose, but you're not gone. You know what I mean? You're not gone. So that's how I treat wrestling is like that. But I try to encourage people. It's so hard to find the right words without misleading it and then saying the wrong words with the wrong sentence. But that's where I try to say, be courageous, stay courageous, and the rage from being heel when everyone's like, Christina, don't mess with being mad, is because the rage goes back from when I was dealing with a lot of shit, when I was going through depression with my mom in and out of the hospital. And I had bad anger issues, and because I, going around, everyone punched holes in the walls and took everything out. Like my hand, like these knuckles are consistent. Like they're messed up. They're still together, but like if you notice, like the one's completely, it's hard to tell, completely flat, because over time I've actually punched things and I paid for it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people go through hurting themselves for the wrong reason. I've used to punch things. I don't think anybody should hurt themselves for the wrong reasons, because at the same time, that person doesn't want you hurting because they're hurting. They just want you to feel better. They just want you to understand that they're not hurting, and I can go on forever for this, you know what I mean? But that's why I want to make a documentary kind of based about what I went through, because there's a lot of people going through some shit in life, and they need to know that hurting yourself is not the right thing to do, and reach out to people. There's people that care, they care, that they're gone, they still care,
Yeah.
you just got to believe in that. You can't lose faith in that, you know what I mean? Because they have faith on you. That's why you're blessed with good things coming your way. Once you believe that, good things come your way.
Mm-hmm. 100%. But when you do that document, when you film that, as you said about the
Yeah.
thing on with the poster thing, if you get that filmed and you can even send it to in an email or a thing, or if it's like a file, we could watch it
I'm hoping to
And
get it done by next summer. I want to actually, because I have my friend and I have a couple different things, and I already kind of mentioned it to my father. That's what I really want to do, and I mentioned it to my brothers. I was like, well, sharpen up. You better say some good things about your sister. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, because like this is so different for them, because I can only imagine they'd be like, oh, she was bold. You know what I mean? I can picture like saying some shit. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, I'm excited. But hopefully by next summer I'll have everything good, if not by the end of next year, because I know it takes some time between my booking schedule and his schedule to record it, then my father's schedule. But I got to plan it out. I'm gonna write it out in a book the way I would want it and not how I like it. You know.
yeah,
I
well,
will definitely send it to you though. Once I'll keep
yeah,
posted
send
about
it
it.
to my
That's in the
email,
near future.
geek email. We actually have a dudes at ringside email now. We haven't actually sunk our teeth into using it yet. My mom made it for us. We still have the passwords and everything. We haven't even like used it. I just been using my email for like the past 15 people we've booked.
Yeah.
I'm like, we really gotta start using this freaking dudes at ringside email. It looks so unprofessional. It says Ivy Poe. People are like, what the fuck is Ivy Poe? Like, it's me. It's me, Mario.
Joe, why don't you just give your email address out online? It's okay. Everybody can
It's
hear you.
dudes that ring. So
Who's that ringside hashtag
Dudes-
podcast? Something like that.
it's just dudes that
Yeah.
ring. Wait, where is it? Oh God, so many pictures from the trip.
It's dudes at ringside gmail.com. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Dudes are. Well, we're gonna get a bunch of emails now. Great, geek. Go. Great. We're gonna open up with 1,000 emails. Great.
I'm gonna get all that spam emails. Do you guys want to be famous? No.
Yeah,
Do you want
Spam email is the worst.
do you want to save money on your car insurance? No.
it's like do you want to make other things happy? No. What? No, Joe. No. Oh no.
That's bad, right?
Gee, who's been using us for Match.com? Like Becky Sue in upstate New York wants to meet you.
Don't want to meet her.
No, Joe.
I know that's the other listener says, hey, there's mingling in this town or something. Like they send you a whole bunch of different spam messages. It's like stupid.
Like,
I'm
Joe,
how
don't
the
say
hell did I get
yes.
there? I didn't apply for a dating site. I didn't look at any.
He'll be yelling at me, Joe. Did you sign up for a dating site on Dudes at Ringside? I'm sad. Shut up.
Whoever's laughing understands. It's funny.
It's
That's our mod in the
She's
other room. She's laughing.
Joe, did you sign up for a dating site on Dudes at Ringside? I'm sad. I put up with everything.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, it's us. Do you have any sorry, Geek.
Do you have any upcoming matches you want to promote?
I'm wrestling at PPW and Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania this weekend. Doors open at 6, show starts at 7. I am tagging with Michael Orlando, the Green Machine, and we're facing Mercedes Martinez and Alpha Jr. and a defender tag. I'm actually looking forward to it. So get some back pay for losing last month, you know. But I'm not gonna lie, I've never taken a move the way Mercedes gave. All I'm gonna say is if you have Fight TV and you want to watch a hitting match between me, Mercedes Martinez, and Rachel Allring from last month, it's worth it. And honestly, the show is worth it. Like I was watching some of the matches, and it's very hard for me to watch everybody's match, but I watch like my people's and like watch certain matches to see how it is. Besides like the cuts, the way they did the videos a little bit too quick, but other than that, the matches are great, absolutely great. And I highly suggest you go out, you watch it. I've already watched it 5 times already, probably be 6 tonight. I just told Kayla that tonight. I was like, I'm watching it again. She's like, why are you watching it again? I was like, I'm yelling at myself. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm too quick here. I'm doing this. You know what I mean? But it's good because I feel like it's one of my best matches that I've had since I've came back, since my cage match with Holodead last year, before COVID kind of shut down the fall time, which that was one of my favorite matches too. I can't wait till my next cage match in pro wrestling in my gear versus, you know, I wonder who it could be next. It'd be a great opportunity because that was great. I don't know if you've watched that. That's on, I think WITV, is it WIWTV or whatever? That is actually free if you look on there, but I actually screen recorded it and uploaded it on YouTube because I was just like, whatever, you know, I couldn't rip it.
I learned. I
I'm
just learned how to
telling
do
you the
that.
secrets right here, guys.
Yeah. I just learned how to do that, Christina. You know that it was funny
Screen
because
record?
yeah, screen record. Yeah, I learned. My mom taught me how to do that. And now, like wrestlers would accidentally send their promos like the other way on Instagram instead of sending you with just the video.
Yep.
They just send it as a video, a box, and Geek's like, I'm like, no, and then Geek's
It
like,
messes the megapixel up. It makes it look choppy.
oh, okay, now I know. See, there you go, Geek.
So, I mean, for a promo, like the quality of the phone and the quality of the HD picture or video that's being recorded off of it, if it's
You gotta
taking
hold it like this way.
yes, yeah, as long as it's not, it starts off and it's clean. You got to make sure it's steady from the beginning. So then it doesn't mess the megapixel up. If you send it through Messenger, even like you put it through Messenger, it will megapixel the actual quality of the video that you took off the phone. Like if you have I have a Samsung Note, not the Plus, but the other one, but the pictures on it are crazy. Like videos are crazy. But if I send my thing through the Messenger, it like megapixels it. Cause I had my friend Alex fix my videos, and I was like, oh man, why is it blurry? Like I made sure my face looked great there. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff. You know what I mean? I was hoping like it was crisp, like you see the vein in my head. Like
yeah.
But you know what I mean. So if you don't, but most of the time people send it through email because it keeps the quality of the video. Send it through email, it downloads to your file or whatever app you use for whatever you use for your videos, and it keeps it that way. So then that's the quality it is. So there's like different qualities. You gotta same with Instagram. You know what I mean? Some you send it through them, it takes the quality and minimizes it what Instagram would use, and then the video comes out like Instagram quality, but your phone quality. And if you have a shitty phone and then you download the video, it's not the same quality. It doesn't turn out. So it's all. I know that. I don't know much, but I know that.
I always get worried because like I didn't know how to do it. So I screenshot it. I was like, okay. I didn't know how to do it. And I found out how to do it because we were on our anniversary, and the first British female wrestler we ever had on our podcast. When I went to my cousin's house in New Hampshire, all of a sudden I'm doing something and Geeks messaged me. He's like, I see an Instagram notification. I was like, oh, Kiara. Oh my God, it's Kiara. Oh my God, our first British guest ever finally responds. It was after like what, 2 months, 3 months. This girl was our first ever British guest. She messaged us out of nowhere.
She probably knew it was our 100th episode, so she probably wanted to say hi.
That's what a geek said, and I was just like, it just blew my heart sunk to my knees. I'm short, so it didn't have to go that far. It was in like, oh, it's like, okay, I'm good. It's like a little person falling off a couch. Oh, okay, not that bad. Like me falling off the couch, it's not that far. Like me falling down the stairs, dead. It's like I was like, oh my God, my eyes almost filled with water because Kiara, for us, if we never met her, we would never be internationally known. That's where you go. Like, if it wasn't for her, we would never have this big run in England.
That's why, you know what I mean? You never know what guest you can have that. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. That's why everybody, you know what I mean? You can think about one person, you wouldn't even think it gets a ton of views. You know what I mean? Because they just want to listen to that person. Finally got that person on here. You know what I mean? They're able to chat about their life or their career.
Yeah. And now we're off, and we're like known in Germany. Like when we also post our podcast like on the actual podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, stuff like that. That's all on the bottom of the screen right now. So like later on tomorrow, whatever, he will post it on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm reading it right now. Apple Podcasts, Podbean, iHeart. I got him to put it on iHeartRadio because my brother was like, "That's on iHeartRadio." Yeah, I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Well, anywhere, you know what I mean? You got to think everybody uses all different types of
more the merrier. More the merrier.
Exactly. More people, more places, more things to hear. More things.
And like you never know. Like it's so much fun. It's so much fun, and this is so much fun. It's so awesome meeting you, Christina. Like
it was awesome being on here.
We want to thank you so much for coming on. By the way,
thank you guys. Our pleasure. It's my pleasure. And it was actually a very big. It was joy. absolute joy
And,
to be on here.
and as I said, like if you ever want to come on and talk and tell some more stories about your career in the ring and stuff like that, doors always open.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we're always good people to talk to. Also,
You guys,
even
you
on
guys are good people.
Instagram and everything like that.
Great
So
conversation too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it can
If you ever
be-
want to just message us after a show and you're feeling a little down, that
Thank you.
message is always open.
yeah.
You're part of the family now, Christina.
Thank you.
All right.
Part of the family.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I really
Later.
appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great night. And
You too.
you know,
You
stay
too.
safe.
Yes.
Later. Wait, no, wait. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
See that, kitty? Flex.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing the thumbs up. We gotta do
And
the
that is
muscles.
Dude at Ringside Podcast.
There's
Bye,
a selfie
guys.
right there. Later.
Thank you. It was a joy.
All right. Later. Bye.
Bye.
That
a
was
fun
so
interview.
much fun. That was
Yeah.
fun.
That
We
was
had
fun
everything
to-
in that interview. Everything.
Everything from funny to sad to
Yeah. We
we
went everywhere.
did,
That
yeah.
has to be the thumbnail.
Yeah.
That
It
has
does.
to be the thumbnail of us like this, doing the young bucks pose. We're like we're all like this. We're all doing the muscles. That's cool. So
All right. Yeah, but anyway, should I just take it away, Joe, and just end it
There you
right
go.
now? All right. You guys could donate to us at http://streamlabs.com/dudes at ringside. http://streamlabs.com/dudes at ringside. Joe? Sorry.
Okay. Don't forget to come check us out tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. We will be having a female wrestler that was trained by Thunder Rosa.
Her
We will
name's
be
Kayla
having-
Sparks.
What's that?
Yeah. Kayla
Kayla
Sparks.
Sparks. And then tomorrow at 8 p.m. we will be having Jamie Lynn,
Mhm.
which is a really good hardcore indie wrestler. So we will see you on Friday. Good night, everybody.
Wait.